It's Monday morning! We're late!
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Monday. It is another beautiful Monday at Freedom Village, and we are so excited to bring you yet another episode of the Monday Morning Show. I'm Noah.
And I'm Ashley.
And we are your hosts. Ashley, how was your weekend?
My weekend was really good.
Was it? What did you do?
What did we do? We hung out with family.
Nice.
We went to the apple orchard.
Nice.
It was chilly, but we enjoyed it.
How did baby do at the apple orchard?
She did good.
Good.
Yes, she had lots of
that's lovely.
fun. She can run around now, so she picked all the apples up that had fallen off. We had to stop her from eating
All
them
the mushy ones?
Yeah, it's pretty gross,
Ooh,
but
gross.
she had fun.
Did you bring me any apples?
I did.
You did?
Yep.
Oh, thank you for the invisible apple. That is a delicious snack for later.
That was your weekend.
My weekend was lovely. I went up north with my mom. I ran a half marathon on Saturday.
Beautiful.
Finished a half marathon on Saturday.
Congrats.
Woo! And now it's time to start training for the Riverbank Run. So
Oh, it
we're
never
just
ends.
heading right back into training. So yeah, it was a wonderful weekend. My favorite place to be. Up north.
Good. Time with your mom, too.
Time with
That's
my
nice.
mom. Never a bad thing.
No, always good.
So it was a great weekend.
Wonderful.
And now we're looking forward to a super exciting week.
Yes, I love October.
I do too. It's a nice month.
It is.
It's a
Fall
good,
is wonderful.
good transition, and like nothing too big happens in October, so it's a fairly chill. Like September is school starting and really getting into fall, but October is just a nice.
Get to enjoy fall.
Yes.
Start to get that weather.
Yes.
Halloween at the end of the month, and then things spiral into holidays.
Yeah, and then
it's-
who knows? And all of a sudden it's 2024. I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So let's enjoy the next couple weeks.
Let's enjoy it.
Well, today is a special holiday.
Is it a special holiday? Is it a fun holiday?
Well, no, not necessarily.
More of a serious
More
holiday.
of a serious
Okay.
holiday. And it's one that's been changing over the years.
Oh, all right. Let's hear about it.
So, well, when you were a kid, you probably learned in 1492.
Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Exactly.
I did learn that.
And so today is Columbus Day.
Yeah.
But throughout the years, people have talked about and looked at what Columbus really did when he came to
Which
this area. And he
was not always the greatest.
No, so
No.
he kind of moved, not kind of, but he was not kind to the native people of this land. And so now many places celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day today.
In lieu of Columbus Day.
Correct, to honor those Native Americans that were here and murdered and moved out of their way.
Yes.
So we celebrate that today instead of Columbus Day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool shift as we've learned
Just a
more.
way to look at it, different way
Yeah.
to look at it and respect people.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yes. But we've also got some other fun stuff going on at Freedom Village this week.
We do. And we're starting right now. Today, Monday morning show. It's happening.
As we speak.
As we live and breathe, the Monday morning show is happening. And then later this afternoon, we have musical reminiscing. So we'll have some lovely piano music by Marcia Heisengut in the
Nice.
atrium this afternoon.
Very
at
good.
2:00. And at 2:15, if you can catch a few minutes of music and then hop on the bus, and we're gonna head out to the Critter Barn's new barn for a barnyard tour.
Oh, wonderful. Their new place is really cool.
Have you been?
Yep, we took the baby a few weeks ago and let
Oh,
her
fun.
see the animals, and she loved the goats and the chickens.
Oh, awesome. Yes, we're gonna go see all the animals and learn all about what Critter Barn does at 2:15.
I didn't realize that they were such a functioning farm, that it's not
Yes.
just a petting zoo.
No, all
That
their
they
animals have purposes
Yes.
and are good for learning and teaching, and
Yeah, and they've got a whole goat milking area, and
it's
it's
so
really
cool.
cool. Yeah, it's so much more than I thought it was.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we should have fun there this afternoon. And then this evening we have the Holland Area Historical Society meeting leaving at 7 p.m.
Nice. Well, that's a good day.
Crazy day.
Yes. Tomorrow we've got a fun fall trip. Our Falling for Fall.
Ah, I'm always falling for fall.
Me too.
Ah.
So we are going to leave Freedom Village at 10:45, and we are heading up to Country Dairy.
You almost got it. It was a mix of both.
Country Dairy in New Era.
That's really, they
Michigan.
shouldn't sound so similar.
Country
That's-
Dairy.
Country Dairy.
Country Dairy is where we're headed. And
Perfect, great.
And we are going to have lunch at their little restaurant they've got there first, which all the meals come with, Noah, a choice of chocolate, regular, or strawberry milk.
They have strawberry milk?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to drink so much strawberry milk.
So that's pretty fun.
Oh, that's so fun.
And then we're going to go on a colorful tour. So we're going to get on their wagon.
Colorful?
It is. We're going to see fall color, lots of cows.
But will their cows be colorful?
No. Maybe.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Maybe,
if
yes.
we saw like a white cow with like pink and blue spots.
Maybe they'll paint
That'd
their
be
cows
pretty neat.
for us. Even if they don't, I love cows. So
Cows
it'll
are
be fun.
great. Colors are great. It'll be a wonderful tour.
It will be. And then we're going to, of course, get some ice cream before we leave Country Dairy.
Of course.
And then head back home, but taking the scenic route along Lake Michigan, seeing all the fall color in the lake, and it'll be a lot of fun.
This does not sound like a trip for anyone who is lactose intolerant.
No. And if you are, I would bring your pills that you take.
The
too.
lactate pills?
Yes.
Good luck.
Lots of dairy at Country Dairy.
Yes.
And then at 6:30 on Tuesday night, we also have our Audubon Club meeting, leaving at 6:30.
Yes, it will leave at 6:30.
What time's that one going out?
I was thinking 6:30.
Okay, 6:30 sounds good. Audubon Club.
6:30, perfect. On Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., there is the Richard Strauss Gala Concert, and that will be an interesting concert celebrating 150 years since Richard Strauss was born, and then his whole life in music. So there will be lots of interesting solos and neat music on Wednesday night.
Beautiful.
So sign up on Touchdown for
Wonderful.
that. Yeah.
Thursday, we've got our monthly breakfast out, and Noah, where are we heading this month?
My favorite breakfast spot. It's one that I grew up going to. I'm from Grand Haven, and we always went to Morningstar Cafe during high school. If we ever had like a late start day, that was the best. We always went there and got their stuffed French toast. It's delicious. So we'll take a scenic drive down to Grand Haven and eat at Morningstar Cafe.
That sounds
Thursday
wonderful.
morning.
Leaving at 8:30.
Yep.
Thursday at 3 o'clock, we've got cardio drumming. That is a different day.
It is a different day. We had the Critter Barn at 2:15 on Monday, so we couldn't quite make it all happen.
Can't do it all.
So Thursday we will be cardio drumming in the afternoon.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then at 7:15 on Thursday night in the auditorium, we've got Resilience in Later Life featuring Pat Rolling.
Yes, who is a professor at Hope College, and she's here to talk to us about aging and how to stay with it and on top of things.
Oh, great.
So, yeah,
That can
it'll
help
be
us
neat.
all. Yeah.
Mhm. And then Friday October
the
13th. It feels a little
Spooky.
bit spooky. And it's in October.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, extra spooky. Are you going to do anything spooky on Friday the 13th?
No.
I think that would be a good day to go to like a haunted corn
Ooh,
maze.
that would be fun.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
All right.
On Friday at 10 a.m. we have Meeting of the Mugs. So if you haven't been to Meeting of the Mugs before, it's a great group to go and drink coffee with some of your neighbors and maybe get to talk to them in a capacity that you wouldn't get to otherwise. And that is in the auditorium on Friday at 10 a.m.
Perfect. Saturday, we'll wrap up our week with a pancake breakfast in the morning at 7:45 in the bistro. After that, we've got our Freedom Village Pavement Pounders heading out at 9 o'clock to take a nice walk. And in the afternoon at 2:30 in the Arts and Crafts Room, we've got our Open Artist session. And this is something new for the month, but it's a time to just bring your creations, your crafts, your paintings down to the Arts and Crafts Room and work with others.
Nice.
Good time to socialize and get some work done.
Maybe paint and chat.
Yeah, get
I
some
might do more
inspiration.
chatting than painting if it were me in here.
I
but,
probably would too.
you know.
I always have good intention, and then Noah comes around and I can't stop talking, so.
We just really like each other. We get along.
good,
well,
right?
That's all. Well, it's going to be another great week at Freedom Village, I think.
It is.
I think so.
Yes.
So, Ashley, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I do. I have a really great interview to share with you
Ooh,
today.
we love an interview. Who are we interviewing?
Well, so we have a part 2. So a few months ago, we featured an interview with Elaine Tannis and Elaine Bruins.
Wonderful.
And one interview was not enough time for them to say what they needed to say. And so
Well.
we brought them back. Joe sat down with them, and we've got a part 2 for you.
Sweet, let's see it.
Good morning. This is chapter 2, the two Elaines, and we're back by popular demand, and I don't think they would agree, but it really is. People said they didn't finish their story, so it's time to finish the story, maybe just go on, and maybe there's a chapter 3, but maybe you'll have to visit with them. We're Elaine Tanis is here and Elaine Bruins is here, and as we know from their original interview that they grew up together in the same town, but their lives diverged as they grew up, as so often lives do. And I think, Elaine Bruins, I think I wanted to go back a little bit about your interest in genealogy. And you have really gone back far in your family, haven't you?
Yeah,
And that would be what family name?
Van de Zande. V-A-N-D-E, capital Z-A-N-D-E. And I talked a little bit about the great, however many greats grandfather we have, Elaine and I have in common. He was born in the Netherlands in the province of Gelderland in a little town of Elspet, which was very near Apeldoorn, which was the larger city and was the place that the royal family had their summer palace, Het Loo.
And near Apeldoorn?
Yes, right outside of
a summer
Apeldoorn.
palace.
Yeah. So he was born in 1794. The genealogy says 1800, but that's not right.
We'll take your word for it.
No, it's documented in 1794. And he died on approximately 1875. And we don't know that because he died in Wisconsin, living on a farm in Dodge County. And when he died at that time, the courthouse burned in the Dodge County seat, and any record of his death is gone. After 1877, when the records were kept again, he's not listed. So he had to have died sometime between 1781 and 1777.
So this is your great...
It's my, I think, great-great and her great-great-great.
Oh, two. Okay.
So
we got the generations going
yeah,
now. Okay.
He had 10 children. 3 of them died in infancy. A woman died at the age of 23. I am a descendant of his oldest living son, Garrett, and Elaine is a descendant of his youngest son, Mas.
Oh.
So there's an age difference there. In 1871, as I said, 4 of his children had really died. Elaine's ancestor, Mas, and his older sister emigrated to Wisconsin in 1867, so 5 years before. And so suddenly, well, probably not suddenly, but anyway, 2 of the other sons decided they were going. Garrett, my ancestor, already had a son who had left the Netherlands, AWOL, to avoid the conscripted draft that he had to serve, and I don't know why he did that. His father, Garrett, had done his 2 years earlier, but anyway. And he also went to Wisconsin, and apparently this was at about the same time that Mas had gone in 67, because he ended up in Wisconsin living with his uncle there. So this is why in 1871 these 2 families decided to go, and they were large families. So I think there were 14 in all who sailed out at that time.
And they arrived safely?
They arrived safely after
amazing.
a 6 weeks voyage. And my grandfather, who was Garrett's son, and his older brother, who was just a year older, apparently had a wonderful time on this voyage. They were 13 and 14 years old, had the run of the ship, made good friends with the sailors and with the kitchen help.
Oh.
And so they were fed well, and he had had good memories of that. It was a steam-powered ship, but also had sails, so if the wind was good, they took advantage of that.
How long was a trip like that?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
But he said they left, I think, Rotterdam, went to England and picked up freight, then went to Virginia and unloaded a lot, and then sailed up the East Coast to New York. And of course, they landed. There was no Ellis Island at that time. That's pre-Ellis Island. And so they landed at a boarding place called Castle Park.
Nice name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are records at Castle Park, but you can't find anything at Ellis Island on that. And then they took the train and went to Chicago. And young son Moss, who was, I think, very adventuresome and a good entrepreneur, had already established himself enough in business that he could take the train through Milwaukee down to Chicago when they got off the train and met them and shepherded them back up to Waupun. And Elaine has the story to tell about her ancestor with his earring in his ear, which was highly unusual in 1870, 1880. So, he was the youngest in the family and must have had the adventuresome and the eagerness to go. So that's part of that story. The family also did not go for religious reasons. They went for economic reasons. They were not landowners. They were renters or peasant farmers, and had big families, and I'm sure it just looks good. Plus the fact many residents from that general area in the Netherlands had gone to Wisconsin in the early 1840s and went to this area in northwest of Milwaukee and settled there. And there are still a lot of people in that area who have the names of those people who had gone earlier. And the reports had been good, apparently, that reached the Netherlands.
They said it was good farmland, and it was good.
They were doing well, so that's where
prosperous.
they headed. And of course, it is also supposedly the area where Van Rolte intended to go when he left the Netherlands in 1846, 47, and he got waylaid in Detroit. So anyway, that's the background of that.
Oh.
Also know that they didn't go for religious reasons because they were not involved in the church-state division in the Netherlands at that time. It's interesting that Ryer is buried in the cemetery of a very small, is sort of known as the Old Stone Church, north of the little town of Alto, where the Reformed Church was at that point, fully, I would say, 10 miles from where they were living, which is unusual when you consider this is Wisconsin, winter, it's horse and buggy. How did they get to this little church, which was not Reformed? It was called the Zion Congregational Church. So,
is that still a mystery to you?
Yeah, we have never found out why they went there. But that church still has a very active group of descendants of people who belong to that church, and it's well maintained. They have one service there every summer. The cemetery is immaculate, and I just got the information and the bill for what I always contribute. It's not a bill.
Have you been there?
Oh yeah, sure. And this is the picture.
That's a picture of the
gravesite. This was replaced. The original one apparently had deteriorated, and someone in the Van de Zandt genealogy replaced it with this good one. And it says, Ryer A. Van de Zandt, 1794 to 1875. And of course, that's questionable. But anyway, my aunt was never able to figure out or find out who had done the replacement, and I tried again, but it's never
What is his first name? Ryer?
Ryer, R-E-Y-E-R. Ryer Artson, son of Art.
Okay.
Ryer. And that has been carried down in the
That's an interesting
generation.
name. I don't hear that name very much anymore, but
No.
I did know a few people by that name,
Yeah.
Ryer.
Yeah.
So
No,
it
it's
is
pretty
really
much
an old
died
name.
out.
It's an
Yeah.
old Dutch name.
Yeah. So that's the story. And my grandfather, I say one of the best stories that I have, and there are many Van de Zandt stories, but I think one of the ones that most personal to me is that my grandfather said he was a jailbird. And
Oh.
he didn't, well, he was really rather proud of it, I think, at that point when he was.
Well, when he said that, what did you think?
Well, I was young, and it was a good story. But when he was 10 years old, he had the job that day from the farm to tend the sheep. And he and his brother, apparently this was their job. They had to go out and to what they owned or lived on.
This is in
In the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands
Yeah,
now, yeah,
and this
okay.
bordered forest preserve land, which might have been part of the palace grounds of Hetlo, of the palace. But anyway, they had strict instructions. They were never to let the sheep through the fence into the forest preserve area. Well, my grandfather was young, and
How
there was
old?
a place,
What age was he then?
10 or 11.
Oh, adventure.
Yeah.
Please.
So he figured, they could go graze there for a while, and he would get them back. Well, didn't work. The wardens found the sheep. So they got the sheep back and hauled him off to the little town and contacted his father. And the magistrate or the sheriff, whatever it was, said he could pay the fine, which apparently was a fair amount of money, or
Trespassing, yeah.
put the son in jail.
Oh.
And father said, well, there wasn't money, and he could go to jail. So grandfather Ryer spent the night in jail on a cold, hard bunk, apparently, and everything else. And I always thought it was interesting. Mother apparently was never considered, or at least he never said anything about his mother being involved in this at all.
We don't know her
So
reaction.
I'm sure it was father's decision, and that was it.
Yeah.
So that's my story. So
So,
The man ruled, huh?
yeah, the man
Yeah.
ruled.
but he spent the night in jail, and the
He
next,
spent the
and
night
that was
in
his
jail,
penalty, and
apparently
then he
was
was
rescued the
that was
next
a
morning.
retribution that he got out again. And
Yeah, I don't know
And
what happened.
thankfully, he never did that again.
I'm sure he didn't. But it also explains why the family always had sheep in Wisconsin, because that
Oh,
apparently
sure,
was,
sure.
yeah.
So when they came to Wisconsin, did they find the land fertile and that it was
Oh, yeah,
good? It worked
sure.
very well.
They were all successful, and I say all of this, practically all of these people are farmers,
Oh, is that
you
right?
know. And they multiplied and, yeah, were prolific. And the Van de Zandts today.
Can you say that too, Elaine?
Well, yeah, she really knows. I guess I'm more conscious of it because it was often said too when I was growing up, don't be careful who you ever say anything bad or malicious about, because they probably are a Van de Zandt somewhere along the line. And I was just looking at this again this morning, and I just say the people that really I am related to is unbelievable.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So that's the story of our ancestor.
Wonderful story. Thank you.
Yeah, and there are a lot of other stories. There are, well, many of the family worked for the royal palace, particularly in the summer, and there are a little stories about that. And yeah, it's interesting.
We'll
but-
talk about those some other time, okay?
Well,
Yeah.
Some
I'll
are
talk
a bit
to you.
spicy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of it is a bit spicy. So.
Well, especially when you get royalty involved. That's right.
Yeah.
Does that bring me to you, Elaine? Are you ready to talk a little bit about your? Well, we talked a little bit about your going to off as a young lady by yourself to a new country into a new job. And what made you do that?
Okay, well, I think that's everything we have to cover this week.
I think that'll do it.
I'm so glad we could be here for another episode. That's Ashley.
That's Noah.
And this has been Monday Morning. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.